I can see you're only interested in the exceptionally rare. I think you'd be most rewarded to consider this. Do not be fooled by its common appearance. It is like most things, it is not what is outside, but what is inside that counts. This is no ordinary book. It once changed the course of a young man's life. A young man who, like this book, was more than what he seemed. A diamond in the rough. Perhaps you'd like to hear the tale? An adventurous young man who has perfected the art of stealing to survive. He crosses paths with a princess who herself is escaping the clutches of marriage. He's taken prisoner and then convinced to do the bidding for the royal vizier to go into the mystical cave of wonders, to retrieve a lamp that he later finds out contains a genie who grants 3 wishes. The young man was left for dead, but saved by a man. And then the genie. He uses his first wish to get close to the princess he had met just a time ago. Then he uses his second wish to save his life yet again. The lamp gets stolen. He's sent away yet again to be put to death, but comes back heroically on his magic carpet to save the day. He saves all of Agrabah, but most importantly, his princess and the genie. He does one last noble thing, and with his last wish, he wishes the genie free. This young man is Aladdin. This was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. It probably still ranks in my top 10 Disney movies by far. So let's dive in, shall we? Watching this movie, the many times that I have and the many times that I will, there's been so many obvious Jesus elements to it, but to my own surprise, there was more. Now, I want to take you through not the perspective of Aladdin, but through the people that were affected by him. The tales of the diamond in the rough. Diamond in the rough is a term that means someone or something that has the potential or talent, but is lacking training or polish. The phrase refers to the fact that diamonds are found in nature and are rough and uneven. We must find this diamond in the rough. Jasmine has everything going for her, right? She has treasure, she has a kingdom, she has a tiger, a balcony, but she's searching for more. She needs something that will satisfy her internally. She feels trapped, and on top of everything else, she's on the verge of marriage to yet another thing that she feels even more trapped. When she looks for her escape into a new life for herself, she finds that she is in danger. And then in the midst of this danger, she is saved by a complete stranger. He takes her to this safe place. For the first time, she feels heard. She feels seen. But they are found by more danger, more things that make her feel trapped. In this moment of fear going back to the same life, the same trappedness, after experiencing this little bit of freedom of being heard and being seen and not having to answer to anyone, she is in the midst of her fear, in the midst of this entrapment, she is asked one question: do you trust me? If you could play the clip.
Just How come?
My father's forcing me to get married.
That's awful. Abu!
What?
Abu says, that's not fair.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, of course.
And does Abu have anything else to say?
Well, he wishes there was something he can do to help.
Tell him that's very sweet.
Here you are!
They're after me! They're after you? Oh, my father must have sent them to...
Do you trust me?
What?
Do you trust me?
Yes.
Then jump! Just keep running into each other, don't we, street rat? Run! Go, get out of here! Oh, it's the dungeon for you, boy. Hey, get off!
Let him go.
Looky here, man. A street mouse.
Unhand him. By order of the princess.
Princess Jasmine. The princess? What are you doing outside the palace? And with this street rat?
That's not your concern. Do as I command. Release him.
Oh, I would, princess. Except my orders come from Jafar. You'll have to take it up with him.
Believe me, I will.
To be asked such a simple but powerful question because she's never experienced this life, this type of freedom, this type of question. Do you trust me? Do you want to come with me? Matthew 10:39 says, "He who finds his life will lose it, and he who loses his life for my sake will find it." In this moment, I feel Jasmine had found what she had been looking for, what she gave up, the life that she knew, and found a freedom in giving into Aladdin. Matthew 10:40 continues, and he says, "He who receives you receives me, and he who receives me receives him who sent me." After this moment, her freedom, she feels, goes when Aladdin is taken away. She returns home to fight for it, for her freedom, for this bits of what she was looking for, to fight for him. And she finds out he was killed on her behalf. So she goes feeling depressed, broken, and she didn't even know his name. Aladdin is about freedom, and those who abused their freedom experience entrapment. Now, let's look at the genie. In the midst of his time with Aladdin, he had never experienced a master such as this. For this reason, at the beginning of Aladdin's wish-making, he's debating what wishes he should make. But before he starts, he asks the genie one question. What would you ask for? Now, think of this. A servant, or slave, or prisoner, or someone in complete servitude for thousands of years asked what his deepest desires were. He feels heard. He feels seen. And you know what he says? No one's asked me that before. Out of the thousands of years that he's lived, nobody's asked him what he wants, what he desires, what he needs. And after a thought, he says, well, in my case, no, forget it, I can't. And he says, no, come on, tell me. And he says, freedom. Oh, to be free, to be my own master would be such a thing that's greater than all the magic and all the treasures and all the world. But the only way that he was able to get out of it is if his master wishes him out, wishes him free. And so this genie who had been trapped for thousands of years asked the simple question, what would you ask for? What is your deep desire? Let me hear you. I want you to be seen. I want you to be heard. And this genie feeling this all types of emotions, but also just the fact that someone is listening to her and listening to him, sorry. And he says, well, here's for hoping. And later on, after everything's been done, Aladdin wishes him free. And never again will he have such a master as this, the master who had set him free. John 15 through 16 says, "No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends. For all things I have heard from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you should bear good fruit, and your fruit should remain, that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give you." Now, we go back to Jasmine. She is reluctant to meet and marry someone who she hasn't chosen for her hand in marriage. So when introduced to Prince Ali, aka Aladdin, she resists him until he shows her something she's never seen before. She re-experiences the essence of the stranger she met and thought to be dead. Then he asks her one question: "Do you trust me?" Another opportunity to have a choice, to have a decision to trust. And she takes it.
Come on. Down.
Wait. Do I know you?
No.
You remind me of someone I met in the marketplace.
The marketplace? I have servants who go to the marketplace for me. Why, I even have servants who go to the marketplace for my servants, so it couldn't have been me you met.
No. I guess not.
You're right. You aren't just some prize to be won. You should be free to make your own choice. I'll go now.
No!
What?
How are you doing that?
It's a magic carpet.
It's lovely.
You don't want to go for a ride, do you? We could get out of the palace, see the world.
Is it safe?
Sure, do you trust me?
What?
Do you trust me?
Yes.
This part is always so interesting because in her eyes, he comes back after death, but not recognizing him. But there's something familiar about his character, about his way. He sees her. He knows her. Do you trust me to take you on the ride of your life to a whole new world? Like this, before in the midst of our trouble, God is asking there, do you trust me? When we are going through hardships, when there's things that we feel that are unbearable and we feel in danger in some sort of way, God hears us, God sees us, and he asks, do you trust me? Where we don't know him, he comes to us. And the world that we are about to enter, we don't know about, but he is there. And later, he comes into our living space, like in this clip that just passed. Aladdin comes into her space, and like this, God comes into our space. And he hears us, and he sees us, and he comes into our world, and yet again asking, do you trust me? And when it comes to being a slave like the genie, we cling to things that we hold so closely to, whether that be money or whether it be our jobs or whether it be the security that we feel or the things that we feel are very entrapping or they are very heavy on our shoulders, we find ourselves still needing something else, still needing something more that truly sets us free. Now, I know this is about Aladdin, but some other things help serve the point of freedom. There is this song that I know, and it says, "You would finally live a little, finally laugh a little. Just let me give you the freedom to dream, and it'll wake you up, cure you of your aching. Take your walls and start them breaking." Now, that's a deal that seems worth taking, but I'll leave that up to you. And in this book I recently read, they reference to knowing what one needs, but suggests that through those that, that in this book they were referring to knowing what someone needs, but how it suggested, though, that one likes to be asked. So through Aladdin, I've learned Christ likes to give that choice. He likes to give us that decision and likes to ask us, do you trust me? This theme of trust and freedom has been so strong in my journey with Christ lately. I know he's never failed and he never will. And even though it's so hard to hold on to something that you feel that you can't see, that you can't touch, there is promise in this book. There is comfort in this book. There is so many things that are what are inside that count. You just need only open it. There's this picture in Brandon's office, and I feel that it embodies this feeling, this safeness, this security, this warmth, this trust. So like these characters who met their freedom by meeting a young man, we too are asked this simple but powerful question: do you trust me? And sometimes we can ask, what? For that reassurance that Christ is asking us this question, do you trust me? Then when asked again, do you trust me? What will your answer be? God bless you.